Welcome to Illinois State University's Natural Disasters course. This is Geology 207. I'm your instructor, Mike Phillips. My contact information is here on the slide. The easiest way to get a hold of me this summer is via email. I will respond usually within 24 hours, a lot of times in less than that. I check my email several times a day. The other link there is to my website. Most of the information that you can find in ReggieNet is also available online. So if ever ReggieNet goes down, you can still access things like the resources and the assignment for the week. So the way the course is structured is we have two broad goals. The first is to explore a variety of natural disasters. And as the semester goes on, we will discuss, generally speaking, one disaster a week, or we might discuss a couple of different hazards that are closely related. So, for example, earthquakes, volcanoes will be different weeks, but toward the end of the semester, we'll combine coastal hazards. So we'll discuss hurricanes and tsunamis during the same week. And we want to analyze the role and the impact of science identifying and planning for these natural hazards to try to avoid disaster. And part of that will be our weekly homework and discussion questions. And then at midterm and for the final, instead of having an exam, we will do a term project, and I'll discuss that in more detail in a few minutes. So how is the course set up? Well, the course is delivered through ISU's ReggieNet, as you probably know since you're looking at this PowerPoint. Some key features that you want to pay attention to in ReggieNet. Number one will be announcements. So usually a couple times a week I will post some kind of announcement there to help everyone stay on track, give you an update on any information regarding the course. I will try to email those announcements to you as well, just in case I need to do that to attract your attention. Under resources and materials, each week you will find a couple of different things. You will have a question or a set of questions for homework and discussion, and I'll discuss those a little bit more detail in a few minutes. At the end of the week, you will put your homework submission into the assignments area, which is a digital Dropbox. You will have class discussions, group discussions. Each student is put into one of 5 groups, so you will discuss that week's topic in your group. The discussion area also has a place to ask me questions about the class, and there's a coffee house area that's just to have general discussions with other students about things that are off topic. We also have a chat room. In the chat room, we will occasionally, maybe once or twice a week, have kind of an online office hour where anybody can come in and ask questions real time. You can hang out, see what questions other people have, and get real-time answers. And then, of course, the gradebook is available in ReggieNet as well. There are other features that you're welcome to take a look at, but those are the primary ones that we're going to be using in this class. So what is graded? Well, weekly discussions are graded. We will have 7 weekly topics for homework and discussion. You will discuss those in your groups during the week. The requirement is to post on at least 3 different days. More if you want to earn those 10 points. The weekly homework is submitted on Sunday. It kind of wraps up what we've done for the week, and that's worth 20 points. So every week there's 30 points worth of work to do, times 7 weeks, that's 210 points. There's a week in the middle of the semester where you will be working on a term project instead of discussion and homework, and so that's the 8th week that doesn't have a graded discussion. So, as I mentioned, there is a term project. There are actually two of them. I'll discuss those in more detail in a few minutes. But each project is worth 100 points. They take the place of a midterm and a final exam, and you've got 200 points there, so that's half of the value of the class point-wise. So here's how the class works. Each week, very, very early on Sunday morning, about 1 o'clock in the morning, a new topic will become live in ReggieNet, the topic for that week. There will be questions for homework and discussion. Most weeks it will be a specific natural hazard. This first week instead, we are discussing kind of the structure of an online course and how you will succeed in that. And we're going to discuss how science investigates natural hazards. We then have resources available as well. There will be a textbook assignment, like which chapter should you read in the textbook. And there are links to information sources online that you can use as you explore that topic for the week. By Monday, you should be working on this. And that includes exploring the topic in a group discussion in ReggieNet. At the end of the week, on Saturday, the discussion closes and your homework is due on Sunday. So, what do I mean by exploring a topic? As I said, there's a reading assignment in the textbook. It'll be associated with whatever hazard we're looking at that week. There will be one of these narrated PowerPoints so that you can get a little bit more detail from me, a little bit more discussion. Online, I will provide you with some recommended links. Usually those are government websites. For example, the week that we look at flooding, there will be a link to the Federal Emergency Management Agency website where you can find flood hazard maps. The week that we discuss earthquakes, there will be a link to the U.S. Geological Survey's earthquake website, along with other websites like from Illinois and maybe like the National Red Cross, that kind of thing. You can also search the web and find your own information, maybe current news, current events. For example, a timely thing to look up for earthquakes might be a recent earthquake that has occurred. Right now we're just coming out of a big earthquake that happened in Nepal, but large earthquakes happen around the planet on a pretty regular basis, so you can usually find something relevant there. The other way to explore the topic is in your group discussion, and the way that works is in ReggieNet we have a discussion area. The discussions are asynchronous, which means they're not real time. You go there on your own time when you're available and can sit down and spend a few minutes or a little bit more. You read through what other people in your group have posted. You respond to questions that they've asked, and you can ask your own questions. So at the beginning of the week, people usually post some questions related to that week's homework and discussion questions. And by the end of the week, there's a lot more answers being thrown out there. The idea here is that if you spend the week discussing those questions, at the end of the week, on Saturday or Sunday when you're doing your homework, it'll be really easy to write that out and summarize your personal answer. The discussion requirement is that you post on at least 3 different days. That's the core requirement there, the minimum requirement. If you do more, then you can earn some additional points. So everybody in the group really needs to participate or the whole group suffers. One of the nice things about this asynchronous discussion is that you can take some time to think about the response that you're going to post or the question that you're going to put up there for the group to respond to. So your group listing is available on ReggieNet and on the website, so you'll know which group number you're in and therefore which discussion to participate in. So that's the group discussion. Saturday, the group discussions wrap up. That's when I shut them off. And then Sunday at 11 o'clock at night is when your homework is due. I don't recommend turning in your homework like earlier than Thursday because the group discussion's not done. So there could very well be information there that that would be useful to you posted a little later in the week. So the Dropbox doesn't even open up until I think Thursday morning. So I don't want you posting your homework on Monday because you've got a whole week's worth of discussion ahead of you. And then on Sunday, that's when homework is due, and there's kind of an overlap there because the next week's topic becomes available on Sunday as well. So if you like to do a lot of work on Sunday, you can sit down, finish up one week, and begin the next week's work. As I mentioned, there are no exams in this class, but there are 2 term projects. The structure of the projects is exactly the same. What will change is which hazard you discuss. So just to give you an overview of what's going to happen, week 6 in the semester will be devoted toward your first term project. You will discuss a natural hazard and how it impacts either where you live or a place you might like to live. So you could do flooding in Bloomington Normal, or hurricanes in Miami, or earthquakes in San Francisco. It's up to you. At the end of the semester, you're going to do a second project. You just have to pick a different hazard. You can stick with the same town or go with a different town. That's up to you, but it has to be a different hazard. You will submit a written paper. It'll have figures, it'll have tables, whatever you need to illustrate your points, and a PowerPoint or Prezi presentation with 4 to 8 slides summarizing everything you found. And this presentation is just a repetition of what's in your paper, the key points. The first project, you're welcome to start working on it whenever you want. The project assignment page is already available in ReggieNet, but we will have a whole week devoted to working on that at the end of June. So you don't have to start it right away, but you might want to look at the requirements. You might start doing some research sometime sooner than that because it can take a little while to collect all the information that you'll need. So that's the term projects. Just as a repeat, my email address is a really good way to get a hold of me. It's mostly for private questions for me, like what's my grade, I have to submit something late, that's all fine. The first topics that we're going to discuss will be how will you succeed in this class, and how are disasters studied, and what are the implications of the 5 fundamental concepts in Chapter 1. That first question is spread out into several parts in ReggieNet. Unlike any other week, that is going to be due on Wednesday. And then the other 2 questions, again, there's a little more detail in ReggieNet. Those will be due on Sunday. And then after that, all the homework will be due on Sunday. So the idea is to go online, get in your group, start working through these questions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, submit that first part of the homework, and then start working on these other questions. You can do that now, but really that's the second half of the week. We're going to focus in on that. So if you have any other questions, you're welcome to ask them in the Ask Mr. Phillips section of ReggieNet, or send me an email.